Brandon Pajemski is not lacking in self-belief. Never has, never will. Coming out of Santa Clara, he wasn't the biggest name, but he made sure everyone around the league learned who he was real quick. In his rookie season, he didn't just participate, he shined. Made the all-rookie first team. That's not something you stumble into. Then, before his second season even kicked off, he got selected to help prep the Olympic development program for Paris. That's trust. That's recognition. And that shows how much promise people saw in him right away. But year two? That was a wild ride. A real roller coaster full of ups and downs, especially the ending, which left a sour taste. The playoffs weren't kind to him. And later we found out he had wrist surgery. That might have been a key reason why things didn't click when it mattered most. Could explain the shooting slumps, could explain the drop in confidence, but even with all that, the fire hasn't gone out. Quite the opposite. He just went on the Kay Adams show and lit it up with one of the boldest statements you'll hear this offseason. Brandon said flat out, he wants to be an all-star as soon as possible. That's not just some wishful thinking, that's a mission. He's not content being just a role player or a rotation piece. He wants to lead. And honestly, that's exactly what you want from a young guy in this league. There's no time for passengers. Everyone in the NBA made it because they were the best wherever they came from. That killer mindset doesn't go away. And if you're playing with someone who doesn't dream of being the best, what are we even doing here? That's what Brandon is saying with his chest. Loud and clear. And here's where it gets even more interesting. He said he wants to be an all-star, whether Steph Curry is still around or not. That's not a shot. That's not disrespect. That's ambition. That's confidence. That's saying, I'm not hiding behind greatness. I want to join it, match him, maybe even take the torch one day. And look, we all know how hard that path is, especially on a team like the Warriors, where you've got legends already set in stone. Steph, Draymond, Clay, they've all been there, done that, and have the rings to prove it. But Brandon, he's eyeing that next tier. And what makes this exciting is that he plays that same combo role. Point guard, shooting guard, depending on the rotation. So he's not trying to find some open lane where no one else is. He's jumping into the fire, into that crowded backcourt and saying, let me show you why I belong. And he's not stopping there. All-Star is just one checkpoint. He's got Olympic dreams too. Said it himself. He wants to be wearing red, white, and blue at the 2028 games, representing Team USA on the biggest basketball stage in the world. That's a massive goal. We're talking about a roster that could be packed with names like Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, even Kyrie if he's not representing Australia. Add in guys like De'Aaron Fox, and it becomes almost impossible to crack that list unless you're truly elite. Still, Brandon's not backing down from that. He knows the odds. He's aware of how stacked that competition is. But this is where that Santa Clara mindset comes back into play. People didn't expect much from him before the draft either. People didn't think he'd be on the all-rookie team. Yet here we are. And if he does get to the Olympics, that likely means he's already been playing at an all-star level for 2 straight seasons. That's the kind of leap we're talking about. Now, when we zoom in on what he actually did in his sophomore year, there's a lot to unpack. Fewer games played, yes, but let's not forget he was coming off an injury. That messed with his rhythm. His efficiency dipped. That part is true. At times, it even looked like the confidence was gone. He'd have those 0 for 5 nights from deep. You could see the hesitation in his release. But then came the return. Second half of the season, once he started to shake the rust off, you saw the player that earned all that early praise. The mechanics came back. The rhythm started to click again. His field goal percentage ended up right around what it was his rookie year. That's actually kind of incredible when you think about it. Most guys hit a sophomore slump. Brandon started slow, but worked his way back up. His three-point shooting, a bit down, sure, but he made up for it with improved free throw shooting, which is a big deal for someone in his role. That's about being reliable. That's about being a guy your team can trust late in games. And even though some of his other stats, rebounds, assists, were slightly lower, his scoring went up. That's growth. That's a sign of someone expanding his impact, even when things aren't perfect. But then came the playoffs, and that's where everything gets put under a microscope. Let's be honest, he struggled. Everyone saw it, and there's no sugarcoating. It Game 1, Steph gets hurt. The team needed someone to step up, and Brandon didn't deliver, just 3 points in that game. In that moment, with the stage lit and the spotlight glaring, it didn't happen. The defense keyed in on him, put the clamps on, and Brandon didn't break through until the very last game of that series, where he dropped 28 points and went 4 for 6 from deep. That was the glimpse of what could be. The question is, can he make that kind of performance the norm instead of the exception? Because let's look at the bigger picture. Around the league, young stars are emerging everywhere. The Pacers have Siakam, Halliburton, Turner lighting it up. OKC has SGA, Chet, Jalen Williams, all putting in work. These are teams where 3 or 4 guys can give you 20 plus on any night. The Warriors, that kind of firepower wasn't consistent. That third scoring option, especially after Steph and maybe Kuminga, never really solidified. Brandon had a chance to be that. The door was open, but he didn't quite step through. Still, this is all part of the process. Steve Kerr talked about it too. He backed Brandon, said he loved the confidence, reminded him that playoff basketball is a mind game. It's where you can lose yourself mentally if you're not careful. You miss a few shots and suddenly it feels like the court shrinks. Every glance from a teammate feels heavier. Every possession feels like the weight of the world. That's the kind of pressure these guys live with, and Kerr emphasized how valuable that experience is. You can't simulate it. You have to live it. You have to survive it. That's the only way to grow. So for Brandon Pajemski, these past 2 seasons have been more than just a development arc. They've been a crash course in NBA reality. He's already lived through the highs of rookie recognition and the lows of postseason struggles. And if there's one thing you learn in the NBA, it's that talent is only half the battle. The mental side, the ability to push through when the shots aren't falling and the world's watching. That's what separates the good from the great. That's what Steve Kerr was trying to teach him. Kerr's been there himself. He knows what it's like to get cold on the biggest stage. He knows how lonely it can feel out there when your shot's not dropping, when the fans are silent and all you hear is the squeak of sneakers and your own self-doubt creeping in. But that's where the growth happens. Brandon now knows what it feels like to carry that weight. He's had games where he was the story, both for the right and wrong reasons. He's felt what it's like to get cooked on social media for a bad performance. He's seen the look in the eyes of teammates who need him to show up. And he's seen what happens when he doesn't. But he's also shown what he can do when the lights are brightest, like that 28-point closeout game or his strong year performances against the Rockets, where he scored in double digits 3 times and dropped 26 in another. Those moments are gold. They prove it's in him. The question now is consistency. And speaking of consistency, you can bet the Warriors front office is keeping a close eye on it too, because as of now, Brandon is heading into year 3 of his rookie deal. The team's got him locked in for the 2025-2026 season at just over $3.5 million. That's a bargain in today's league if he plays at or near a starter level. Then comes the team option in year 4 at $5.6 million. That's also team friendly unless he absolutely tanks. Which, let's be real, seems unlikely. They're picking that up. And after that, it's bird rights territory. That's when the big decisions get made. So from a roster standpoint, Brandon's value is extremely high. He's young, cheap, and talented. And that's why, despite all the trade talk swirling around the Warriors these days, names like Karl Anthony Towns and Giannis Antetokounmpo getting thrown around, you don't hear Brandon's name at the top of those packages. Not because he's untouchable, but because his contract makes it tough to include in high-value trades. At just over $3 million, he's more of a filler piece than a salary matcher. So if the Warriors are going to make a big move, it's likely to involve guys like Moody or someone with a more substantial cap number. Still, Brandon's future with the team is far from uncertain. If anything, it's trending in the right direction. The franchise clearly believes in him. His minutes might fluctuate, his role might shift depending on health and rotation. But they want to see what he becomes. And make no mistake, this third year is pivotal. This is when the leap happens for players who are serious. This is when the front office starts thinking long-term, starts talking extensions, and this is when fans decide whether you're part of the core or just a nice piece. Brandon knows that. You can hear it in the way he talks. He's not shying away from the challenge. He's not asking for a guaranteed spot or special treatment. He's embracing the grind. He wants to be a household name, not just a guy who had a few good games in his rookie year, not just another draft pick that showed promise and fizzled out. He wants to win. He wants to lead. He wants to be the reason the Warriors are still relevant when the dynasty era finally ends. And look, the pressure is real. Steph is still here. Draymond is still here. Clay, that's a question mark. Kuminga's stock is rising. Moody's still trying to break through. Chris Paul's gone. Wiggins, who knows? But Brandon Pajemski, he's right there on the edge, ready to prove he's more than just potential, ready to make that next step from promising role player to consistent contributor, and maybe, just maybe, into a star. And the thing is, he's got the tools, the court vision, the IQ, the off-ball movement. He doesn't need the ball in his hands 24/7 to make an impact. That's a rare trait for a young guard. A lot of them need usage to be effective. Not Brandon. He finds ways to contribute. And now it's just about tightening the decision-making, hitting those open threes, and bringing it every night. Not once a week. Not just when Steph is out. Every night. And if that happens, if he starts putting up 15, 16, maybe even 18 a game while improving his defense and becoming more efficient, then the all-star talk won't sound so crazy. Then the Olympic goal starts to look realistic. Because right now it's a long shot. Let's be honest. You've got guys like Brunson, Halliburton, Garland, and Maxey are all playing the same position, and they're not slowing down. But if Brandon can become that spark plug off the bench or even a legit starter on a playoff team, then he enters the conversation. Because Team USA always needs high IQ guards who can play both ways. Now it's just about staying healthy. No more surgeries. No more missing chunks of the season. That's what really held him back last year. The numbers don't lie. He was more efficient when he was playing consistently. The problem was he never really got into that flow. 1 week hot, 1 week out. That's tough for any young player, let alone someone trying to find their identity in a championship hunting franchise. But now he's got the experience. 2 playoff series under his belt. A taste of both success and failure. And like Nebraska softball coach Rhonda Revelle says, you can only experience experience. That's exactly what Brandon needed, to get a little bruised, a little humbled, and come back smarter and stronger. And now he's dangerous because he knows the pain, he knows the grind, and he's still standing, still hungry, still chasing something bigger than a stat line. This next season isn't just about proving people wrong, it's about proving himself right. He knows what he's capable of. He believes it with everything he's got. Now it's time to show the rest of the league that Brandon Pajemski isn't just another name. He's a force. And if everything clicks, we might be looking at one of the best young guards in the game taking flight right in front of our eyes. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers have begun to circulate around the Golden State Warriors camp following reports that star point guard Stephen Curry may have sustained an injury during a recent team training session. Though the franchise has yet to release any official statement, multiple sources close to the situation suggest that Curry appeared to be in discomfort after a routine drill and was seen leaving the court earlier than usual, accompanied by medical staff. For now, the severity of the incident remains unknown, but the potential implications are causing understandable unrest among fans and analysts alike. Curry, the undisputed leader and face of the Warriors, has had a history of both heroic performances and nagging injuries. Any suggestion of a new setback immediately raises concerns about Golden State's upcoming season and their hopes of contending in a highly competitive Western Conference. What makes the rumor all the more intriguing is the complete radio silence from the Warriors front office. No post-practice interviews have been made available, and even teammates have been unusually tight-lipped, fueling speculation that the issue could be more serious than initially thought. Some insiders have hinted that the team is opting for a cautious approach, waiting for full medical evaluations before making any public announcements. This isn't the first time the Warriors have faced uncertainty around their superstar. Curry's absence in past seasons has dramatically shifted the team's trajectory, And even the hint of an injury brings back memories of how vulnerable Golden State can become without his offensive leadership and court vision. While it's far too early to jump to conclusions, the buzz around Curry's status is growing louder by the hour. Until there's an official word, speculation will continue to dominate headlines and conversations in the Bay Area and beyond. Fans can only hope this latest rumor proves to be nothing more than a minor scare. But for now, the silence is deafening. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.